Teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. Today for me, what's brewing is Horlicks because I had my teeth whitened today and I'm not allowed to eat anything colourful or staining, which includes coffee. So I'm drinking Horlicks because I wanted a warm drink while watching this mess. This mess being Chantal changing her mind about going back to Canada. A shock, I know. Also, let's just address the elephant in the room. I am aware that the makeup is a lot. I was playing with my makeup, which was not intended to be on camera, and then Foodie uploaded the video. I realized she uploaded it when I was almost fully done, and I was like, if I have to take off this makeup and then do something less insane, I'm gonna not get this video up. So here we are. So Foodie is back with us. I'm just going to get the React started and then we can talk about it in a minute, okay? I do have 2 videos up from, was it day before yesterday? Because I was not reacting again. I was not reacting again that day. I was done. So you can just check what happened there if you really need to. Sorry if that's cut. It's a bit weird. I had to take a little while to get her volume on. She feels very quiet today, so if you can't hear her, sorry. I may overcompensate, so it might be too loud.
Guys, so yeah, I know it's like, I just filmed a mukbang so I have my table here, but it's a home-cooked one.
Of course you filmed a mukbang. My health is so bad, I might have to leave my family and go back to Canada. Mukbangs are the best idea.
Feeling a lot better today. I just wanted to update you guys on where I last left you. First, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you Beezers, all of you guys who were there to pick me up when I was feeling down.
Don't be fooled into thinking she cares about you. She was there for the views, and if you look at her video where she was crying and saying she was leaving, she got 22k, which is more than she usually gets these days.
I do use my platform for that, like, sometimes, you know, sometimes you just need some support from people.
I think her audience is the one to go for this, but yep, we know you do.
And just talk it out. And I always say that, like, I kind of use my platform in a way as therapy.
A terrible alternative to therapy because she can block whoever she wants. She will never do difficult work in this form of therapy.
With being careful to still respect a lot of my privacy.
Yeah, she's very private.
Where I can. I think we all know I'm impulsive. I actually bought a ticket to go to Canada. Excuse me, which I will show you here.
This was slightly sharper, sorry, the video I downloaded wasn't a great quality. I do notice she's left the 17th of July up there as the time issued, but what has she blocked out? I'm gonna have to go back and check like my old tickets from, this looks like Emirates, I think? Because the point she's making is that it was issued on the 17th, so she did buy it when she spoke to us.
I've already canceled it, and so I've lost some money on that, but whatever.
Excuse me for not feeling sorry for her losing money. The money that she originally came on to beg. And she's gonna argue this later, but she sat saying how badly she needed money and kept like repeating it, like, oh, I'm gonna need every dollar, expecting that people would throw super chats away. And I'm so glad people didn't.
If I just waited a bit longer for my feelings to calm down, I wouldn't have this problem. Anyway, I don't want to live in Canada right now. Like, I know I said I was going for sure. And at the time that I did that live stream, I really believed in my heart that's what I wanted to do.
I don't know. I'm not inclined to believe her in general, but it's very convenient that she has these changes of heart right around visa time, you know?
It's not that I wanted to go to Canada, it's that I wanted to
leave.
Just escape for a while. And
you can't escape your own life. Wherever you go, there you are. What is it you wanted to escape so badly from?
I thought maybe that, I don't know, it's honestly going to be a bit of a confusing video because it's like honestly so hard for me to try to convey how I feel because and that's why I changed my thumbnail to I'm confused, because I sometimes am very confused.
Bear in mind, she changed that thumbnail very soon after she had uploaded it. She also had a deleted community post saying, oh, I'm going live, there won't be notifications, because she had already uploaded too many times that day. And a little bit later, she admits that about an hour after she booked it, she cancelled it. So that was when she was going to tell us, sorry, I got ahead of myself, I'm not really going. But she decided not to tell us till today because she wanted the video to do well. She wanted to give it time to get its views in before she backtracked on it.
The life I live here is very different from the one I lived in Canada.
It's actually not. Like, it's very different in how much you expose of yourself online physically, and there's less weed involved. But you being unhappy eating at a camera has not changed. You leave the house less. She has had far less independence since going to Kuwait, and not because of the culture of Kuwait, but because she doesn't want to. Which is quite bizarre to me, because usually moving to a new country, even one in the Middle East, is quite liberating. It's an adventure, and it's an adventure she's refusing to go on.
And sometimes I just get fed up with everything in my situation, you know?
Is this all the health stuff?
A more domestic life, a life with more responsibilities as a wife. And it's a lot.
Name me her responsibilities. If Salah is supporting her the way she claims, then he's paying for all the bills. We know that it's her money supporting him to pay those things, but if what she's presenting is what she's presenting, she has less worries there than she does in Canada. Because her debts are far away. Yes, she's still paying them, but she doesn't have other pressures on her money. She doesn't have the pressure of buying weed on her money, which she used to spend thousands on. And they eat out most days, so it's not like Salah is insisting on home-cooked meals and domestic duties. Although we don't know about that at the moment. Maybe that's what caused the dust-up.
It's not hard on me compared to, I'm sure, a lot of husbands, like, on their wives. Like, he's pretty lax, you know, he's very understanding. He went and got me some flowers to cheer me up because I wasn't feeling good, and, you know, just like a little something, and, you know, wrote like on the card, like, you're my sweet love and stuff like that. So he's actually like a really sweet guy with that. But
what did he do? Like, assuming this isn't all a lie, because again, the timing of it is quite the thing, but last time she got flowers, she wrote the note herself. Wasn't that for Valentine's Day, I think? Sometimes
we all just have really down moments. And for me, I think what it is just all piled up. Like, and that's why I'm happier today when I saw the results of my numbers, because I'm like, I felt like, oh my gosh, like all these, my sciatica was really bad. And I just feel like there was no way out with my health. Like,
when she says her numbers, she might be able to explain this. Does she mean like her sugar numbers, or is she talking about her YouTube numbers? Because yeah, she'd be happier today seeing the views she got yesterday.
I felt like, you know, burdened by all these health issues, and I felt like I can't change because it's too hard. And anyway, so a lot of personal issues going on. A lot of self-doubt was creeping in about whether I can be like a good wife, whether I can make the changes like I need to.
Let me help you. You can't. I don't think for a second she can do either of those things. I don't think she cares enough to be a good wife. I don't think Salah is a good husband. And I don't think she'll ever make the changes she needs. So just like we discussed when she talked about going back to Canada, and every time she's talked about going back to Canada, I don't think she'll be in a good position wherever she goes, but I think her world gets smaller and smaller and more dangerous the longer she stays where she is, because her ability to access care she needs becomes less and less efficient. Like, she is not going to get an MRI for her perhaps sciatica while she's in Kuwait. She's just not going to do it.
To turn my life around, what about our goals, our dreams? Like, everything was just like piling on and giving me like huge anxiety. And when I get like that, I'm very irritable. So we got in like a bit of a petty argument, and I just like.
I want her to tell us about what? Was it just she wanted to eat something he said no because she said again and again how dangerous it is to her? What was the petty argument that drove you to a plane journey? And how are you going to prevent this from happening again? Because quite conveniently, it seems like this happens every 3 months. If you're serious about staying in Kuwait, that's what you got to work on. Why you'd want to work on this terrible marriage, I don't know. But what's going to stop you from doing this again? Absolutely nothing, because you'd rather forget about it than work on it.
I was mad at the world. I was mad at Salah. I was mad at everything. So yeah, it wasn't anything like really major, like that I can pinpoint. Like a lot of people were like, I'm sure speculating. I haven't looked around. I'm not doing that anymore. From
the hell she hasn't. Okay, I'm sure people are speculating on exactly this, but I definitely haven't looked. Shut up.
my mental health, but just based on comments that I've deleted because I could get the general idea of people running with it. What I don't understand is people being like angry, like they were like legit, like you're a scammer. Like, how am I a scammer? Like, why am I a scammer for going live and talk?
She's a terrible person. In this instance, I wouldn't call her a scammer. I would say she's in a precarious position with her constantly reusing the tourist visas. Oh, by the way, because I got a ton of comments about this when we thought she was leaving, or there was a possibility that she was, because that's the lie she was telling. A lot of people said, I think she's been deported. She could be refused entry based on her number of tourist visas, but she wouldn't be deported over it. And she definitely wouldn't be sitting at home saying, I'm thinking of booking a ticket, if she'd been deported. Because if it had been serious enough for them to say, no, you're out, that's we're taking you from prison to the airport kind of situation. She might avoid the prison part, but that's okay, go home and think about it for a while kind of deal. Because anyone who wanted to stay in the country would just disappear. Like, if she was getting deported, we'd be having this video from the airport.
Talking about my feelings. Like, I didn't ask anybody for a single dime. Like, I didn't ask anyone to help me.
She didn't ask, but I think she did expect, which is why she went live to talk about it.
I didn't ask anyone to buy my flight. We can take care of ourselves. Thank you very much. I didn't ask anybody for anything. Oh, it's a visa run scam. I don't know how a visa run is a scam.
A visa run isn't a scam, but again, her coming in under the tourist visa means a lot of the other things she said were a lie. But the tourist visa itself is not a scam.
I don't know why people are so obsessed with whenever, if I have to travel, what my visa status is.
She knows exactly why people are obsessed. It's because her marriage can't exist with the status being the way we think it is. And her traveling every 3 months is not helping this. It's just confirming what we know.
But I really don't get that. So I'm just going to ignore that.
Of course you are. It's not like you'd answer it.
But yes, I did block some regular people who were insulting my husband because it's my...
This is excellent therapy. Just hug boxes all around.
My channel. It's my corner of the internet. He's a part of my life. I'm not forcing people to like somebody, but if you at least can't come here and disrespect my people that I love.
Well, you came on here and said, it's over, we're separating because I have self-respect, which implies very heavily that he has disrespected you. It implies that you're not getting respect elsewhere. So when your supporters, and these are regulars, these are supporters, I know not every regular is a supporter with her, but then you can't expect that they're not going to say something. You are going to cause a reaction. That's why you put the video up. You wanted the views. And you were crying in it, whether people believed you or not. So the answer here was, the people who do support you, I'm blocking you because I love my husband. Well, that wasn't really what you presented, was it?
So that's how it's going to work. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm here to entertain you guys, not really like give you free reign on, insulting people I love and interfering in my personal life.
Well, then don't use your audience for therapy. It's a really bad use of the people watching you, and it will lead to these misunderstandings.
So, yeah, I don't mind sharing some things about my life with you guys, but sometimes it gets taken too far. And those comments were just like way whack. Like, like, here we go again. I know she's going to change her mind.
Right, that's not way whack. That's based on history.
But it doesn't affect your life whatsoever,
Okay, but it does affect your audience because we're watching you. We watch you because you put stuff out. So on one hand, you desperately need an audience to support you. And on the other, you get angry at the audience when they involve themselves. Like, you got to make up your mind there. Keep it offline or keep it online.
So that's fine. I understand. I'm very frustrating sometimes. But that's just how I am. Like, I've always been that way. I'll continue to try to mature in that way and get a hold of it.
I would love to know the active steps you're taking to work on that, because it doesn't look like you're going to change. If you're 40 years old and you're still acting like you're 12, I don't have great hopes.
But in the meantime, I'm just, like I've said in the videos before I've done this, I'm torn sometimes between my home there, my home here, but I realize that I don't have a home there anymore. I don't have anything to go back to except my family.
And that's really what it comes down to. Like, not that she values her family, but that it's not that she wants to be in Kuwait, it's that being in Kuwait is easier than being in Canada. Or is for the moment, presuming nothing happens. Because if she could afford it, if she could go back and not have to be personally responsible for organising it, she would go back to Canada. If someone messaged her and her family and said, hey cutie, come stay at this house, your bills will be paid, just like Salah pays your bills, then she'd go. The fact is, there are lots of practical concerns that she doesn't want to deal with. She's staying in Kuwait to not have to deal with her responsibilities in Canada. Because like I said, her income would be stretched.
But I don't want to stay at my mom's. I don't want to stay with my mom. It's a full house there.
Yeah, I'm betting she doesn't want you to stay with her either. Like, not to be nasty, but they wouldn't even pick you up from the airport. You think they want you in their house for that long? You don't have to stay with your mom. You could organise accommodation like people do when they travel. But I was thinking about this last night. Sorry, timelines. Last night, this morning. She mentioned that her grandfather was coming to visit and that he was in the car. Is her grandfather coming up? She's from Florida, right? Coming up and staying in the place where she would stay? Because there really wouldn't be room for her. In which case she is not willing to get her own housing while she sorts things out.
And I don't want to stay somewhere putting my family in jeopardy because people know where I am. I don't want people to know where I am. I don't want people to drive by. I don't want people to harass my family and myself.
I don't want anyone to harass anybody. I think when people were getting involved with a family, it was way too far. I don't think we should be doing that. But if people were in mind to do that, they could do it whether you were there or not.
While I'm there, and it has happened before many times, and I don't want that. My aunt's house, I've stayed with her, but it's so small. She has like a small 1-bedroom. I don't have a car anymore, so it's like...
You said you were going to rent a car.
I have a home and we have a vehicle here.
Okay, so she looked at the prices and was like, shit, didn't think this through.
And I have my pets. That's another thing, like, when I, look at my pets, like, how can I leave them,
You abandoned 2 pets that you'd had for decades. What do you mean, how can I leave them? You were going to put BBJ in a bag in the ground so you could go to Kuwait. And yes, you get all upset about it now, but that is how that started.
I'm still getting over the trauma. Like, it was traumatic for me what I did, like rehoming them. And, well, one being stolen and then one rehoming.
But going to the vet and saying, hey, do you think it's time for her to die wouldn't have traumatized you?
It was really traumatic for me. Like, I still deal with that. And to have to do that all over again, like with my pets, like it's just, I don't know if can't do it.
You said, Chantal said that they were going to stay with Salah and Salah loved them. So that's a very different situation than I'm abandoning them to a stranger or death.
I did get an update on Sam. A picture. The person who has him sent a picture, and he was sprawled out on the bed looking very happy. But I don't know, maybe someday I'll be reunited with him. I'm not.
Hopefully not. If he's happy, leave him where he is.
Too sure. They weren't opposed to giving him back to me, but they're taking good care of him and they don't mind keeping him. So we'll see with that. But and in the meantime, I have my pets here. I have a new home here I've built, and you don't realize how much you're gonna miss that until you actually go to leave, you know?
Bear in mind how many homes I have left in my life through the course of my work. Chantal has no real relationships. I don't think she has any problem with leaving Kuwait. I think she has a problem with the idea of having to rebuild in Canada.
Like, I booked the ticket, and you know, I had Salah like, don't go, like, you know, I don't know, I don't, we can't live without each other. You know how when you love somebody, imagining your life without them is really, really hard, you know?
I understand what it is to miss somebody, but that's why you live on your own. You get to the point where you're okay living on your own, and then you expand that if you need to. Some of us don't need to, some of us would prefer to. Either way is fine. But remember that the man you are loophole married to told a stranger in DMs that her ass was more important than his entire family. So I don't think he values you in that way.
I think I'm on the right track with my health because...
How? Because you're mukbanging still. What was that Taco Tuesday you did?
I have a video later showing some numbers and things like that. I have some health updates coming up. Health update mukbang.
Think about that phrase for a moment and what might be wrong with it.
So we'll see, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm gonna stick it out. When times get tough, I am very impulsive and I just rush to do something drastic. And
when times get tough, when it's a day that ends in Y,
and I have to learn to seriously just sleep on it, you know? Just Salah was like, you're impulsive, just sleep on it. And he's right, I should just really take the time to, you know? Yeah, but I was really upset in my live stream. I don't have good days all the time, but I haven't had a bad cry breakdown like that since that. It's been a long time, and maybe I need to do that more because I do have
maybe about every 3 months. I think that might just be the right level.
A lot on my plate, you know. I've taken on a lot, and I've been going through a lot. Maybe that was just that was kind of cathartic, you know. And for me, wanting to just be alone and be single, and I do that when I have that self-doubt. I say, I feel like I have so many health problems. It's almost like a way to sabotage what I got going on, because I feel like it's just gonna crumble because of me. I have so much self-doubt.
I don't think Salah is a prize, but I think a lot of things do crumble because of her. And like I said, Salah is probably not helping with this, but Gala's got some issues. Yeah, big issues. Therapy-worthy issues. And that's not a problem. That's not to say that people can't have issues. That's not to say you should be ashamed if you have issues. Everybody's got them. Her issues impact negatively almost all areas of her life. That's the good yardstick for therapy. Hey, is this interfering with things I want to achieve? Maybe I can go and talk to someone about that, and let's see what else I can do to stop it from sabotaging my life. There are steps. The steps are hard. She would have to pay out of pocket for a therapist. But it all sounds very deep and very reflective to be oh, I have these issues. She's had those issues forever. and it just gives her an excuse to get mad and rude to people. You want to build a strong life, go and sort yours out.
Like, on my abilities as a partner, on everything. Like, I just get very, like, insecure sometimes. And instead of having to deal with heartache, I just kind of want to just, like, cut it off and be alone and just be at peace. And to deal with all my issues and just be alone and not burden somebody else. And
no, she wants to be alone so she can do what she wants, which usually is not dealing with the issues. It's blotting them out with food and substances.
All this self-doubt. And what I did, you know, what I guess I just maybe needed to hear also, like, from Salah, like, you know, I love you, and like, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't be, like, going through all these things, fighting for your health, taking you to appointments, blah, blah, blah.
All right, so she wanted Salah to grovel.
So, yeah, so that's basically the best I can describe what was going on in my mind. I was just numb, like, to the max. I was at my wit's end, having kind of like a panic attack. I don't know. It was a weird mood. And I am feeling a lot better today. Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't gone and booked a flight, but it's already canceled, so. Like, literally, I booked it, and like an hour later, I canceled it. And I think it was like
Didn't tell us though, did you? Wanted the money.
Booking made it like a finality for us, and we like, no, like, we can't live without each other. You can't. He's like, you can't go, and I'm like, I can't leave everything here. Like, I love my apartment. I love this place. I love our cherry tea though. It's the new Kia. You guys have to get used to that. It's the new Kia. Okay.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your new Timu car. Nobody cares about the Kia.
Okay. And since I'm starting to feel on the mend, and, you know, winter will be around the corner, inshallah, we'll travel, and we'll do so many things here. I want to go back to Failaka Island. I want to do lots of winter camping. Like, we'll do a lot of winter camping, guys.
I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like her vlogs very much.
It's a new life. Sometimes I feel old life calling back to me, but it's not. It's really just, that's over. I don't have a life in Canada anymore, and I don't want to rebuild right now. Rebuilding a life is so hard, especially in one of the most expensive places to live, and
so it was money.
I'm already established here.
How? How are you established? You're in on a tourist visa, so you're lift right out. You've got no friends aside from Salah. You've got no social circle. You have no routine. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. How are you established? What roots have you put down?
I have my family, my pets, my love. What more can I ask for? You know, I really feel blessed. I really feel blessed. I have you guys.
That's not necessarily one to count on.
Whenever I come, and I want to, like, make it very clear, whenever I come on and if I break down and everything like that, I don't want
feedback,
sympathy or pity, or
she wants sympathy and pity,
or money,
and she wants it to translate into money,
or anything. I just want you to listen
and attention.
That's what I like about having an audience, is someone to listen to me.
Audiences will listen, but audiences will also talk back. And if you've got a big problem with one half of that, then we're not the place to come.
Attention is more valuable to me, like somebody listening to me, than any money, anything.
Have you considered talking to the love of your life? Because communication is meant to be part of your relationship.
I guess that's it. That's my explanation. I know there's a lot of people who want me to go back to... I've had some really disrespectful comments, like, take off that hijab, blah, blah, blah. First of all, the hijab is not going to come off.
If she goes back to Canada, it will come off. She'll say she's still a Muslim, that you don't have to wear it, and I think she mentions that here. She can choose what she wears or doesn't wear. The hijab is supposed to represent a dedication to a faith, and she doesn't live her life to that.
Like, no matter if I get divorced, if I ever get divorced or whatever, has nothing to do with that. That's like, you know, like, it's God. You can still be Muslim and not wear hijab though, but it's also...
Which is going to be her defense if it ever comes off.
A cultural thing. Like, So it's cultural. It was ordained by Allah. You're supposed to wear it in Islam, but it's also just, I don't know. I just find those comments really gross. So I just delete them and block and goodbye.
So thank you for all the support.
And,
Hugbox only.
yeah, I mean, sure, I could have a much bigger audience if I don't filter.
She used to have a much bigger audience and she used to be more popular within it. We know what she did with it.
And I let everyone just come in. But I'm going more for quality over quantity, like I always say. No thanks.
I don't think she's going to get either. I think she's going to get a couple of diehards and she's going to get a lot of trolls.
Rather a few positive people than a whole bunch of people saying gross things like Islamophobic things, constant fat shaming, like no thanks. And I don't mind like a few fat jokes about you guys know I have a sense of humor about myself, but
yeah, she is renowned for not being sensitive.
Sometimes people take it too far and it's just like goodbye, you know. So I guess that's about it. But thanks for listening and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. So there we are. It was all bullshit. Either she already did her visa run when we suspected it before, or she will go and do a short trip and not go to Canada. We will see, but she got her views for all it was worth. She needs to get a new playbook. She can't do this every 3 months. It's just ridiculous. But she doesn't tend to learn. She doesn't tend to be as good at lying as she thinks she is. So I guess we'll see what happens in 3 months. You remember she wanted to travel in November? Well, November would be 3 months from now, wouldn't it? So I guess we'll see. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you there and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.